We think he's probably 6 or 7 years old and a really nice full-size male, so definitely within that about 400-pound range. Um, when I first started seeing Scarface a number of years ago, there's no way we could have gotten this close to him. So he's slowly gotten a little bit more used to boats. So as he was going by us, you could sort of see his ears just facing us every once in a while. And that's him listening. He probably never really saw us. So he never once looked at us. And bears looking at you is a real sign that I'm in their space. If you're ever on foot and a bear is looking at you, that is a very big sign to talk to that bear and back away from that bear. So as soon as a bear focuses on you, that's a really changed equation. But Scarface is a pretty cool bear. He's sort of become very sort of good around boats, and he's learned that we aren't really a threat of any kind. He is here all year, so he hibernates somewhere in this back area here. But I saw Scarface in February of this year, so his hibernations are very light compared to a bear that would be up in the Rocky Mountains. And he obviously...
Is it because the weather is better?
It's temperate, yeah. So there's still opportunities to feed in the winter. Bears that hibernate here just don't hibernate at the same level, and that's because they don't need to. So hibernation is a survival starvation strategy, so they know that they can starve themselves from point A to point B and make it through that period of time. The bear's heart rates actually go down, their temperature goes down, their digestion stops. It's a really crazy, incredible system that happens. And bears are really, really unique in the fact that they do that. A lot of bears die during hibernation. So I was in a river with 18 grizzly bears. The next year we came back to that same river, we only had 5. So if there is a bad berry year and a bad salmon year, our coastal bears really suffer with that. So this is a time where a lot of bears don't make it. A lot of bears just die for lots of reasons: health reasons, food reasons, hunting reasons. It's a real significant thing for bears. And this is one of the things for us as humans is not disturbing bears is a really big deal. Getting them hooked on human food is a sentence for death, essentially. So it's really, really on us not to do that. Bears tend to congregate in areas where there's food supplies. So somewhere like Whistler is a really good example of, because they've cleared an awful lot of trees, you tend to get berry crops that come up in those treeless areas, and bears do better in those berry areas. So for example, this area, we tend to have more bears because it was logged. So because they've chopped down all the trees, one of the first crops that comes back in is berry crops. So you can get a sort of unnatural amount of bears living somewhere because there is a introduced food source being there. Bears will eat hundreds and even thousands of berries in a single day. We know for grizzlies that they'll eat multiple thousands of berries every single day to try and help themselves fatten up. This time of year, they're really just napping. They just nap and then go straight back to eating as much food as they humanly can. And that's to try and make it to that hibernation period. For females, they have an added risk. So right now, bears are breeding. If a bear gets pregnant and doesn't get enough food, the pregnancy will actually kill her in hibernation as well. So bears, over tens of thousands of years, have developed this really interesting system called delayed embryolization, where female bears, they breed right now, but they don't get pregnant until the fall. So they're able to control their embryolization, and that's according to how much fat they have on their bodies. So if they have a pretty good summer, they get enough fat, then they'll impregnate themselves at the end of the fall. Gestation is only a couple months, and then they have those cubs born during hibernation. So the cubs will be with them in hibernation, come out in the springtime. They're really, really tiny when they're born, really tiny where they start coming out with their mums. They spend a whole summer, whole fall, another hibernation, and then another summer with their moms, and then they move on. So it's quite a while that they're actually with their moms.